Per Franklin in the grey and black trim. Orlando D'Ambrosio in the brown and gold. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors welterweight division, and a nice 1-2 to start things off from the Italian.
Very respectful walkout to the touch of gloves from both gentlemen, but it's Ambrosio opening up first. Southpaw stance for him. Doing a good job of circling to the outside, always trying to get that lead foot on the outside of the opponent's lead foot in this toe-to-toe stance. Of course, the power side, the backhand and the back leg become all important in these exchanges.
D'Ambrosio was a considerable favourite with the bookmakers going into this one, perhaps not unexpectedly.
A really solid leg kick there, really caught the hamstring with a great deal of power. It's interesting that he's circling continually to the left here. See if Franklin looks to throw that right hand or that right leg.
The first run out in 2018 for Per Franklin. His last contest was a loss by submission to another Cage Warriors veteran, Juan Suarez. Very talented fighter coming out of Spain. Stalking his man here is Franklin.
He's controlling the centre of the cage at the moment, he's pushing back. A little slip on the range there. And it's interesting, when D'Ambrosio comes forward, they're short shots as he covers the distance.
He still seems to have established his range a little bit better than Franklin so far. Franklin just falling a little short with the shots on the way in. And already marked up from the counter fire of D'Ambrosio.
Yeah, D'Ambrosio looking a little bit lighter on the feet, but he's playing very much a counter-punching game at the moment. Staying on his bike, constantly circling. So the outside leg kick this time.
Reset in the centre of the cage of the Italian as Per Franklin continues to walk him down. He's going to have to solve this riddle soon, Josh.
Yeah, let's see what happens in the next couple of exchanges. D'Ambrosio's had some success when he's throwing those hands. He's only really done it twice so far to actually cover distance and progress forward. The rest of the time, it's Franklin just controlling the cage here.
Don't forget to join in the conversation on social media. Use the hashtag CW93. We'd love to hear your thoughts on tonight's prelims and, of course, our main card later on this evening here in the Leesburg Hallow.
Give it a searching left from Franklin.
Franklin waving it hard.
D'Ambrosio has landed with all 3 of those kicks, and he's landed fairly significantly.
Almost a jumping oblique kick there from the Italian.
They're nasty. To get caught with an oblique kick right now at the kneecap, it's very unpleasant. You don't have to think about stepping forward.
Keep going, keep going. His hands closed, keep going.
And referee Mark Goddard telling D'Ambrosio to carry on fighting.
Yeah, Mark Goddard obviously not agreeing that there was an eye poke.
His hands closed.
Well, we'll hear referee Mark Goddard there saying that his hand was closed.
Interesting underhook position here for D'Ambrosio. See if he can use what's called a 100% sweep to try and lever his man over, but right now he's locking up close guard, and Franklin's doing a good job of stuffing him in the cage to somewhat limit his hip movement. And of course, they're right in the corner. See August Vollen there shouting instructions to Per Franklin.
Just to clear things up there, if you get hit in the eye with a closed fist, that's a legal blow. And of course, it is for the referee to call time, not the fighter. And Mark Goddard quite rightly telling D'Ambrosio to carry on competing. And Franklin, well within his rights to take advantage of that, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. And Franklin really did surge forward. It's certainly taken D'Ambrosio by surprise here. I mean, he's under the cosh a little bit with 30 seconds left. Franklin's doing a good job of putting some very unpleasant posture.
It's going to work there,
driving
guys.
that
Stay
forehead
busy.
into the
Change
chin.
position, stay busy.
And D'Ambrosio hasn't made any attempt to really open his guard here. He's just accepting the pressure forward. And this really has changed the complexion of the round.
final few seconds of this first round, and we'll see another. But a solid round for the Italian, even if it didn't end exactly how he wanted it to, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, that's really going to have shaken him a little bit. I mean, he looked visibly irritated, obviously, by that response, and he kept, I mean, we're going to see it here on the replays. This is Franklin searching forward, and this was a good exchange. And it was a left hand, but I couldn't, let's have a look one more time, see what we can see. Oh, this is Franklin surging forward after the fact. And look, did a good job, earned the takedown very nicely, although I think there was a bit of a guard jump.
And again, you see D'Ambrosio remonstrating with the referee and giving up the takedown, perhaps as a result, Josh.
Yeah, let's have a look. So there's the kick, and there's that left hand. Oh, I
now that looked open to me in that instance.
Yeah, I go, well, maybe D'Ambrosio has a point. You know, unfortunately, we get the benefit of that kind of replay, and not everyone does.
Oh, it's a great point to make, Josh. You know, a referee has to make a decision in the moment based on what's in front of them, and I'm sure they'd love to have a bit of picture-in-picture and slow motion like we do.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a short left hook on the break is what it looked like. But see if Franklin tries to push that momentum forward. I mean, it's going to be a good minute for D'Ambrosio to recover, which I think, to be honest, he needed after that round, and just to mentally get back in the right frame of mind, if anything.
So Franklin has to be buoyed by how the round finished. Let's see if he can keep the momentum up.
So we're starting the second very much as we did the first. Franklin controlling the center of the cage and pushing forward. And D'Ambrosio has gone back to circling to his right again, trying to keep that lead foot on the outside. I liked his leg. I really liked his leg kicks in the first round. I liked
Superman punch just clips per Franklin there. And interesting to see if frustration starts to build for Franklin here, because he's been doing a lot of chasing. D'Ambrosio just circling away.
And it might be what the Italians counting on. That was a good left hand from Franklin, but maybe he's just hoping that, you know, D'Ambrosio is hoping that Franklin will surge forward and leave something open in his kind of over-eagerness to make a point.
And we're going to have time called here. Referee Mark Goddard just dishing out a warning to D'Ambrosio. I was actually just about to say that, Josh,
absolutely
at the time.
fair.
We've actually seen fights not here on cage wise get called for a lack of contesting like that.
Good punch of the kick from Franklin. Can't quite get in on the hit straight away, but good takedown from the Swede. And this was a good recipe for him at the end of the first. You know, he had real good top pressure, and I was very surprised at the lack of movement on the bottom from D'Ambrosio. He's got that single butterfly hook. See that left leg tucked inside. That's going to help him lift and elevate, and you see how he's able to bring the other leg back through, re-establish some sort of frame. It's a double butterfly guard here, but it's very tough to do anything when you're flat on your back. You just don't have the momentum, and he relinquishes back to close guard.
It appears that perhaps Per Franklin is cut here. Some blood on the mat, certainly. It doesn't look like it's coming from D'Ambrosio there.
I think he got caught in one of those exchanges, but it's tough to see from our vantage right now, but there's obviously a lot of blood on D'Ambrosio, so he's looking for a triangle. You can see he's got that left hand on the bicep, and he's looking to try and throw the legs up. Right hand now.
Stop right there.
Okay, and us. Stand up.
Stand up.
He's standing up and checking the cut.
Look at me. No. And blow on me. Turn around. Fight.
That was a stand-up for an activity, I believe.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the speed of that, but you know, they weren't doing a whole lot, so back to the feet. Franklin's going to have to earn that takedown again.
To the mat. There's D'Ambrosio.
And that's the second time he's done that. But let's see if Franklin can be a bit more active and keep this here for the last minute and a half of this round. He's got to get some sort of posture. He's got his hands back inside on the chest. See his hips this much higher than his head. typically you would say don't do that. Okay, biomechanically it's inefficient, it makes your movement predictable, but you can see what he does. He takes that forehead and he drives it in the side of the chin and just creates really unpleasant posture for D'Ambrosio. He's probably going to look for an armbar as well from here if he can get the coach to open his legs and spin the hips out.
Stay busy, guys. You want to stay there. Leave some action.
Referee Mark Goddard
Change
just
position or stay
warning
busy.
the fighters to stay busy. He's not going to let Per Franklin ride this one out.
Yeah, Franklin needs to throw some shots here. I mean, you can see one of his hands is tied up.
Stop right there. Stop.
There we go. Didn't throw a single strike on the ground. I know there's good wrist control from D'Ambrosio. But, you know, there's options to fold elbows over the top. There's short shots that can come in. Just to stay busy, you know, you've got to play the game to a certain extent to maintain those top positions and not be throwing huge strikes.
It looks like it could be the nose that's bloodied rather than a cut on Per Franklin.
Yeah, that can start inhibiting his breathing. It's going to force him to open up.
Pair of knees there from the Italian, a burst of activity here as he looks to salvage something from this round. Final 10 seconds and Franklin trying to drive in against the cage.
Yeah, I think Franklin's doing a good job here of slowing down the last 10 seconds with that kind of pressure. And, you know, he's probably going to take that round based off the takedown. But it's unfortunate he got stood up. But, you know, D'Ambrosio was warned for inactivity as well. So pretty much a wash on that front.
Take a look at some of the action now from that second round. Catches the kick and drives in on the takedown here, Josh.
Yeah, persistence. You know, really followed the man's hips all the way to the cage, and he executed the takedown very nicely. There you go, catching the kick again. I mean, you know, it hurts to eat a kick like that, but you know, that's a great trip takedown. You know, as a result.
I'm sure Per Franklin would have rather it not gone down like that, but a takedown's a takedown. Take him how you can get him.
Yeah, his posture when he gets into that close guard in top position is interesting to me. It's not what you would traditionally expect people to do. MMA, instead of keeping the head up and back straight, you do tend to keep everything tight on the chest just to limit your opponent's activity on the bottom. But he didn't do a whole lot apart from drive that head pressure
Third
forward.
and final, guys. Let's go.
Per Franklin looking, I would say that he's breathing slightly heavier than his opponent as we head into the third round, but perhaps, Josh, that's down to the bloody nose as much as anything else.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the extent of the damage. It looks to have been cleaned up fairly well, but, you know, did he get something really dinged or ruptured? I think the Italian's got to go to work here in this third. He really does. You know, that first round is a bit of a pick 'em round with what happened in the last 30 seconds. The second probably went to Franklin, so, you know, really anxious moments for the Italian here.
Interesting to see how things are going for the Italian mentally as well. There was the incident in the first round with the eye poke that maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. There was the incident in the second round where he was pulled to one side by the referee and warned for, you know, essentially being passive. How does that affect the game plan? And how does that affect the mental approach in this third round? Does he now perhaps do something that he may not have planned to?
Yeah, I mean, he may have to take some chances. You know, if the game plan was stay at range, throw kicks and strike, you know, you're not going to stop the guy, and you're probably not going to stop him with leg kicks. Let's be honest, they're a tool that, you know, you really wear someone down over the course of the opening rounds. But we've seen some good knees. There's a good clinch position here, and this is the first time we've seen Ambrosio as the aggressor against the cage as well. So.
And this is definitely the kind of fight that could be decided by a point deduction if Ambrosio were to be passive again and lose that point. Perhaps that also playing on the mind of the Italian player.
Point deductions are huge whenever they happen, but you know, close fights, you know, it's throwing away around.
Per Franklin with the body lock here.
Good knee, well timed into the midsection. Ambrosio has got to stop this takedown. You can't really afford 30, 40 seconds of being inactive in close guard again. So switch up to the single. He's going to try and pull that leg up and across the body.
A knee to the knee there from Per Franklin. That was unique, certainly.
Yeah, it's good shoulder pressure. You can see him driving through. He's going to pin Ambrosio against the cage.
Ambrosio almost capitulating that to go for the guillotine.
Yeah, I wondered if he was looking for a guillotine. He's not got his hand reinforced with either an arming guillotine or a high elbow guillotine. So he's probably not going to be doing much in his position, but Doesn't mean Franklin can be lazy. You can see that right hand is coming in for an arming guillotine now to reinforce, but there's a real interesting technique you need to finish this. It looks like the Swede's head is... well, this is getting tighter. This is getting tighter now, and you can see how Franklin is driving forward to try and keep the pressure off his neck and compress the Italian up.
Short shots here from Per Franklin as he looks to stay active. Pretty much the only way he can at this stage, Josh.
Yeah, this is what he doesn't want. He doesn't want to allow D'Ambrosio to engage the hips and really start getting the full pressure of his back in. That's why he's driving forward, trying to put his head towards the mat to...
Come on, you got to do something, or we'll break it up from there. Do something.
And again, referee Mark Goddard warning for passivity there.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin, I'm surprised he hasn't brought that right hand in yet to try and break the grip. Turn his chin to the left, into the rib cage, bring the right hand in, try and peel the head off so he can
Let's go, guys. Come on, change position or try. I will stop from there.
It's a good period of time for him to control on top, but he's trying to free his head, and it does just look like Ambrosio's holding on. He's not trying to squeeze finish in any way either.
We did see a brief increase in the blood coming out of Per Franklin's head there, so perhaps there was a degree of pressure for a moment in time, but just tenderizing the ribs now is Franklin.
Yeah, I think Mark Goddard is looking to step in here, but I mean, this could just be a guillotine that takes a lot of pressure over time. I mean, sometimes you don't quite get it right, but it really does. And where you're pulling it out and then it cinches at the last moment. This is tough for Franklin because it genuinely can be really hard to get your head out.
Stop it, guys.
45 seconds left on the clock, and referee Mark Goddard stands this one up.
I think the Italian's behind here, Brad.
Of course, the debate will rage over whether that was or was not effective grappling. How's this round going to be scored?
I honestly don't think it was effective enough to do anything but control your opponent.
Not so much steam left on these shots as we approach the final bell.
Yeah, now is not the time to get careless for Franklin. I think he's had a solid game plan so far.
Reaching left up the
great takedown, block the hip at Jenke angle very nicely. And Ambrosia now has the urgency to bring the object, but it's a little bit, it's too little too late, really.
Ambrosio raises his hands there, as does Per Franklin. This is going to be an interesting one for the judges to pick apart, Josh.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, there really is, from the passivity, from, was it control versus the punches to the ribs weren't doing anything. I mean, this was the first attempt at the takedown, just missed the reap and had to try and recover, and the timing on that knee was fantastic.
Timing and accuracy on that one.
See it shudder through the back of his rib cage.
And here is where that guillotine starts.
I mean, maybe he felt like he had the left hand really cinched up, and he was just gonna. It's so hard to finish against the cage here. You can't get any real kind of hip extension in it.
And there we see both men raising their arms at the end of the fight. Both believe they're in with a shout of a judge's decision here, and whichever way it goes, it is a close one. That's beyond all doubt. Our judges still tallying their scorecards here. Under the auspices of the SMMAF here in Sweden. Officials, cage side, but also in the cage. Licensed by the person here in Sweden tonight.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah, I can see the judges having to think about a fair few things here.
Did he cut?
I'm inclined to say that Per Franklin is probably going to make this one, but
It's time to find out as we throw it to our MC, Andy Friedlander, in the cage. He'll make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 29-28 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Per Franklin!